what are your goals as a business? Where do you want to be in 1, 2, 5 years? What does that look like for you, Doug?
Well, being the age that I am,
Sure.
I've often thought about that. But yes, if I could, like you said, get that consistent business where I could hire a couple more me's.
Hey everybody, welcome to Run Lead Gen Radio, your go-to podcast for all things digital marketing and growing your business with your hosts, Quinn
and Brian.
And today, you guys, we have Doug Holyoak with us, owner and operator of Dunright Construction. Doug, why don't you go ahead and give us a little bit about you? Give us an introduction, what it is you do, how you started. Just give us some introduction to your business.
Well, let's see. How did I start? Oh, actually, yeah, I was in construction many years ago and ended up working for a corporation. And when I turned a certain age, 59,
nice.
I thought, well, let's see, in 6 months I can leave that company and take my 401k with no penalty. And so I said, I think I want to go back to doing what I really love, which is construction.
Yeah.
But I'd done home building and all that. We had done the whole gamut. I was in partnership with my father-in-law. But I thought, just me, I'm just going to concentrate on renovation and remodeling. When I first started, I said, well, I'm going to be the basement guy, because I thought, here's all these homes that are being built in our Tooele Valley.
For sure.
That have unfinished basements. And I said, so if I make that my niche, then that's what I'll do. But in the long run, well, so far, I've been more of the bathroom guy than the basement guy, because I've done more bathrooms than I have completing basements.
Great.
And I've been in business since I started my business actually in 2017.
Okay.
But then I went full-time in March of 2018 after I left that corporation that I'd worked for.
Yeah. For
22 and a half years. But so it's been kind of exciting. And I know, some thoughts that I know a lot of people have is, how did I get started, or what were some of the challenges?
Please.
Well, I guess how I got started was, this is what I wanted to do.
Okay.
The challenges were, when I first started, I was doing projects for people in my neighborhood. And I said, pretty soon I'm going to run out of neighbors that need work done.
Right.
And then that's when I met, actually my estate attorney. He had done a trust for my wife and I.
Okay.
And he was part of an organization called BNI.
Right.
And so he said, hey, I'm part of this networking group. How would you like to come? And I thought, yeah, that would be great. I would love to come see it. I don't know if I can come see, because he talked to me like on a Wednesday or Monday or Tuesday. I can't remember exactly. But it's probably a Tuesday. And I thought, well, I can't come this week because the meetings were Wednesday mornings. I said, but I could come next week. And he said, oh, okay. Went home, talked to my wife, told her about that opportunity. She says, why can't you go tomorrow?
Yeah.
So I actually showed up a week early. And he's like, oh, I didn't expect you till next week.
I love it.
The minute I sat through, basically it's a networking group, and I sat through their meeting, and I thought, this is exactly what I need for my business to help it grow. I know some of the other challenges I had was like, okay, who are my suppliers? Because I hadn't done construction in Utah, because I did the construction before was in upstate New York, where my wife grew up. And so I knew suppliers. I knew places to get things and where to talk to. So starting out here in Tooele Valley, I'm like, other than Home Depot, who do I deal with?
Yeah.
So over the years, I have actually met other suppliers that actually were better than Home Depot for getting materials.
There you go.
Different things like that. And so I've developed some of those relationships as I've gone along.
So you've been building it step by step, problem by problem solving, right?
And I know BNI has been, the group of BNI, my fellow BNI members, has been an excellent source for me, for my business. And I know that it probably, I was tracking it at one point, and I think it was at least 60 to 65% of my revenue generation.
That's fantastic. So I definitely want to talk about BNI. So just so you know, our viewers are people who have started a business or are trying to grow their business. And a lot of times we get people watching that are on the precipice of starting a business and they just kind of need that motivation to get going. So I wanted to take some time and first of all, congratulate you, because a lot of people, they have the dream, they have, all these ambitions, and that's where they live and die, right? It is in dreams and in ambitions. And you went out and did it, and you're solving the problems one step at a time. And that is above any other thing that we can talk about as far as growing your business and marketing and, getting lead generation. It is the gumption, right? The cojones, the internal drive to just go and do it and move your feet and solve the problems and keep moving your feet.
Yes.
So we congratulate you for that for sure. A lot of people just don't get past that mark. So let's talk a little bit about BNI. We are also members of BNI. We've often said, and we'll say it again today, we have learned and we now espouse and tell people that there are three major pillars to business growth. It's inbound marketing, which is what we do. We solve that problem. Outbound marketing and strategic business relationships. And BNI does a fantastic job helping us create any networking group for that matter, but BNI does a great job at helping us get those strategic business partnerships for referrals, but also to solve other problems in our business. So BNI, you said you kind of sitting in the BNI and you're listening and they're telling you things and you're saying, yeah, I need this stuff for my business. What were some of those things?
Well, one of them, back when I was younger, I actually attended a college. It was just a business school.
Nice.
So I got an associate's degree in accounting and business management. So, and I had done bookkeeping as part of one of my early jobs early in life before I actually got into construction. And so I thought I can do my own books, but being in BNI and we have a bookkeeper in our chapter,
right?
I had done QuickBooks desktop, but I got into QuickBooks Online, and then there were some idiosyncrasies, I guess you could call it,
sure,
that I'm like, I don't know how to do this. And so it's great to have her in my repertoire.
Right.
So basically I have a monthly meeting with her where I go over things. So I've entered everything in my books and I can run everything, but oftentimes I've faced a question, well, how do I do this? Because I think I should do it this way based upon my training, but it won't let me do that. And she knows how to work that system. And so she'll say, okay, this is how you do it. And so it really is good to have her, like I said, on retainer.
Absolutely. In your tool belt.
My tool belt,
yeah.
Yes, to help me figure out those idiosyncrasies of the bookkeeping program.
Yeah, absolutely. I think some of the things that we learned, right, it forced us in a way to do things and think of things that maybe we would have put on the back burner, right? We needed a slogan. I don't really, I should be really thinking about mission statement and like, who am I targeting and focusing on my very specific audience. We kind of hit the ground with a shotgun approach. We were just spraying out and BNI and meeting with other people and going through kind of their program did help us hone and solve some of the things that we would have probably put on the back burner. And then, of course, it helped us build our network of just local people for us to do insurance and bookkeeping and things like that as well. So it's been fantastic for us. And that's how we know you. So, we love BNI. We definitely plug for BNI. But just in general, I think the conversation is you've got to identify some problems and then you've got to go solve them. And BNI, another good thing that they do is it helps you understand that like you want to hire out people to do what they do so that you can focus on what you do.
Yes.
If I was worried about all of these components that right now I have fulfilled through, network relationships, I wouldn't be doing my job as well as I'm doing my job today, which also means I'm not growing my business, which also means now I'm getting burnt out. I'm not spending time. And that's a big part of growing your business as well. If you burn out, everything was for nothing, right? You're
right.
You're no longer on the path to growing a sustainable, consistent, and valuable business that's going to help you through your life and through your family's life.
Yes.
I think one of the other big things there is, obviously having professionals to do what they do so that you can do what you do professionally is really big. But what you said about burning out is if once we finished work for the day, we still have to worry about did we run payroll? Oh, did we go and log all of our transactions? Oh, did we talk to the insurance guy to make sure that we're covered for this? Then it allows you to really enjoy life a little bit instead of having to worry about all of these details over and above and beyond. So,
yeah. Can you imagine if you're building a business, you're working on your fulfillment, the thing that you know how to do, which is why you started the business, and then you're doing all the things that a business requires as well. When is there time now for life? And that's when people burn out and they find them. So it is a dance, right? To make sure you can hire out what you can and do what you can. I have one last story I wanted to just bring up and we can move on to the next topic, but we just spoke yesterday with a potential client, and I felt bad. I just overwhelmed her because we started talking about her client acquisition cost. She's saying, hey, I need to get X amount of people in a class by X date, and this is what it's going to look like. And we started going through the numbers of what her lead acquisition cost is, her impressions, and to get her goal, to get her, 20 people filled in the seats by January 1st, she's looking at spending $6,000. And so her cost per acquisition was something around like $300 to $500, and she's charging $800 for the product. So obviously there's some problems there, and you could just see, that was an overwhelming and an unknown that she had not anticipated. Mm-hmm. And so that's where we come in and we can say, what if we could get your cost per acquisition down to 100? What if we could, make it so that your sales pitch shows the value of this being worth 1,000, or you could find other ways to upsell the lifetime value of this so that these people are worth $1,200 or $1,500 to you. Now you've got margins that make this sustainable business. And it just seemed like things started clicking for her. And I felt that exact same thing. Boy, please let us do this so you can do the thing that you do so that this doesn't have to be a stress for you. But it is a balance. It is tricky.
It is.
Anyway, so I want to talk a little bit about what it is that you have done thus far to help grow your business. So how are you getting clients today? What you spoke about BNI. Tell us a little bit about the process of client acquisition for you today and where you are, where you'd like to be. Let's dive into that.
Okay. Well, pretty much what I've done is, like I said, the majority is BNI. I have had a simple Facebook page, but I don't know if that generates much. Most of the people that have called me, some people have found me on Google, but I think the majority of my business has been from BNI. But yes, I've thought, do I want to expand? How much do I want to expand? And so it's nice to have some run lead gen in my tool belt to help maybe expand my, I guess you could say, coverage area.
Sure.
So that I could go where I want to. If I wanted to expand over into the Salt Lake Valley, that there's that opportunity for people to find me easier.
Yeah.
Because most of my BNI contacts are here in this valley. Some of them do know people elsewhere, but yeah, most of it's there.
Yeah. And to be clear, we're talking for Doug, we're just at the precipice of getting him live on local service ads, which is a Google product, which is a pay-per-lead platform. You want to tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah. So local service ads is, for anyone who doesn't know, Google's pay-per-lead ad system. So there's a lot of overlap with traditional Google ads where there is an ad ranking system. And so there's more to it than just, hey, I'll pay, give me a lead. The ad ranking system takes into account reviews, your response time for responding to people, actually answering the phone when it rings, because if that's where Google is making its money, they don't want you to be the one they're going to send calls to if they can't ever charge for it. And so there's a lot of other factors that go into local service ads, but it's really nice for being able to get a consistent idea of what it's going to cost to get a lead, number one, and number two, having a little bit more granular control over, okay, if someone's looking for bathroom remodeling and I can get my local service ad to show up, I can say, these are my service areas and put these photos in front of them of previous work. And number one, just show up in the top of the results so that instead of having, however many other people above me, when someone does that search, that I can show up right there.
Yeah. And I think, so the reason why we're talking about local service ads at all is for a business like yours, Doug, it's a powerful tool because one, you don't have to pay. A lot of people get hung up and they get nervous about paying for impressions or clicks or otherwise because they don't see how that boils down. So it's an easy entry into the world of marketing. It's a free service that we offer with any other service that we provide because it's not really technically difficult to run. But it's also an ability for now Doug to consider if he could get consistent jobs that he can now plan on at a consistent price that he now knows that, it costs me X amount of dollars to buy a client. Now Doug can start making plans to say, all right, I want to hire somebody else to help me. And now he can start to consider growing his business. So local service ads, for anybody out there that has a service business, this is a really powerful play. And it's powerful for Google as well, because now Google is saying, it's local, right? They're going to show you up locally very specifically so that they can take on more clients. So it helps Google build themselves because they can get more and more people onto the Google platform. But now Doug could do this, right? And then somebody else could do it and somebody else could do it in various areas. And it's just a really great marketplace for businesses to grow. And Doug's only going to ever pay for the amount of leads that he wants to have based off of some iterations that we have to do. So anyway, I want to talk a little bit about then, say you could get to a place where you have that consistent predictability. What are your goals as a business? Where do you want to be in 1, 2, 5 years? What does that look like for you, Doug?
Well, being the age that I am,
Sure.
I've often thought about that. But yes, if I could, like you said, get that consistent business where I could hire a couple more me's,
right?
Somebody who really knows what they're doing and I can just kind of direct things where I don't have to physically do the work anymore, then yeah, I could build the business and I could run it until, for the next 10 years.
Sure.
Before I say, okay, I'm ready to actually retire
But then you've built something that you can also then sell, right?
Yes.
This is a conversation we were having just the other day. We've seen people build food trucks or otherwise. And it's really tricky. And this is really important for anybody listening. It's a tricky thing to go from, hey, I'm good at construction to I'm a business owner, right? And it's a mindset shift where now you have to kind of get you got to get the ball rolling. You got to get the predictability, the consistency, but then to get yourself out of fulfillment so that you can then hire the next set of, crew to do the thing. So in the case of like a food truck, right? Rather than just building the food truck and going out and selling the food, now getting to a place where you can hire somebody to run the food truck. And then you can have a consistent deal where you're going out to these places so that you can then go buy another food truck and hire somebody to run it. And it's always tricky for business owners to see themselves as business owners, especially when they're just at the beginning, because they see themselves as somebody fulfilling the thing that they've always fulfilled.
Right.
And this is true for us as well.
I struggle with it very much.
We are digital marketers, right? And so we're like, no, we're the digital marketers. We run the digital marketing campaigns. And rightfully so, we want to give our clients a really positive product. We want it to be successful for them. But then, how do we grow the business beyond us? We have to build processes in place, create consistency and predictability. And we often say, scalability, so that we can then pass our knowledge beyond us and grow a business that is bigger than us.
Right.
Before we move on to the next topic, I wanted to circle back and talk about two more things from local service ads that I think are really cool. So the first piece there is the Google Guaranteed badge. So one of the things that Google does for social proof is they have everyone go through a background check and kind of a vetting process to make sure that they're insured and licensed and not going to do anything crazy once they get over to your house. And so with that, gives a little bit of credibility to all the businesses that are listed there and some social proof to have them be who the end user calls when they choose that particular result for their search. But the other thing that goes along with that I really wanted to talk about is how the platform pushes the business owners to kind of go and take additional steps to improve their local service ads that reverberate out into the rest of their business. So one of the really big ones is reviews. And the reviews are super important, not just for local service ads, but we see that playing roles in organic growth and in particular, social proof. When you're going and picking the next guy to do your bathroom remodeling, if somebody's got some scary reviews, that might turn you off. But so I wanted to ask, how has getting reviews, because I know you have a Google business profile, how's that been going for you? And what are some of the challenges there maybe?
What works well? What's been troublesome?
That's a good question, because I know that I've had people call me and they say, well, so-and-so or somebody recommended you. In some cases, I don't know who it was that told them to call me, but I would have to say it's because of those reviews, those personal reviews. And so I've only done a few Google reviews with my little review card. And so, yes, I think I was talking to Brian the other day about getting out there and really making sure that I'm actually talking and using that card to have people do the reviews when I'm doing a job and when it's done, so that it builds that review process.
Yeah, absolutely. And so for anyone that's not aware, Doug is talking about our tap to review cards. And so we should put a link down in the description. If you're a business owner and you're trying to grow your reviews, we have a NFC tap to review card. We give
completely free.
Yeah, we give out to businesses to help them streamline their review acquisition. And so there's a link that you can check down in the description and fill out a form and come and get yourself a free review card.
Yeah, I think a lot of clients and prospective clients and friends and networking relationships ask, what can I do to grow my business right now? Just me. And, we could give them a list of things, right? Make sure you have a Google business profile. That's probably a number one you should do. Right. And we say, what's your website look like? Can you get something staged up? Yada, yada, yada. But I think the number one thing that we could tell any business owner to do right out of the gate is start getting reviews on their Google reviews. That is probably the easiest way to grow business because it increases your organic presence, but it's social proof. And we're people. We need social proof. So if you're trying to grow a business and you're like, I don't know where to start, you should absolutely take us up on the free tap to review card and just start making it easier for people to give you reviews. And then probably along those same lines, you should, consider sending in images of what you do, right? Yeah. So you want to show examples of what you've done. Those are two really powerful things.
That's homework we give to business owners week in and week out is keep getting those reviews and keep capturing content, because we can use that content on your Google business profile, on your website, on even on other platforms as well. So they go a really long way. And for someone that's just starting in their digital presence, if you want to do a Facebook or Instagram or a Google business profile, but you don't have any of those images or videos or any type of digital assets, it can really be a challenge. So
yeah,
super valuable.
Well, we really love having you here, Doug, and we love talking about growing businesses. And what I want to do is, as we kind of round this out, I want to hear from you about, just give us a little bit of an overarching perspective of why you started, some tips to people that may be looking to start and they're afraid to make that change, and then possibly, so some advice and insight for those that are trying to grow their business. What would you tell those people? So give us kind of a whole perspective here. How did you make the plunge? Why did you make the plunge? Some tips and tricks to help other people maybe have that motivation, and then what advice can you lean into to help them grow their business?
Well, I'd say for me, it was easy to make the plunge because I was now financially in a position where We paid off the house, so I didn't have a mortgage payment anymore. So just step away from that regular paycheck that was steady to now venturing into something that really is the unknown, I think was easier for me. But to me, if somebody is just starting out and they're younger and they're looking to do that, find the best way to get yourself out there. And that's run lead gen. That is a good networking group like BNI, because if you join the chamber, which to me is a good organization, but in my case, I could join the Chamber of Commerce, but there might be 20 other remodelers. So how do people decide who they're going to use? Whereas in the BNI network, I'm the only renovation and remodeling contractor in my chapter. And so anybody who knows in that chapter who knows about a remodeling project is going to refer me. By getting the Google reviews out there through run lead gen services, you're getting ranked because, like you said, doing the things that Brian and Quinn say to do, you're going to get ranked, and that's a good referral too, or a good review as far as that. Because I say the thing that I just wanted to talk about is I got put on a city website,
Okay.
but there's nothing that says, hey, Dunright Construction is the best one to call.
Right.
It's just that I'm there. And I spent way more money on being on that than my BNI membership.
Sure.
And that returned me nothing. Whereas my BNI membership, I said, has returned 500% easily.
Love that.
What my cost to join BNI was. And so to me, that's the same with Run Lead Gen Services. They're going to help you grow, as their slogan is, a scale to success.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to help you get your name out there, get ranked, do the things, especially if you do the things that they tell you to do. If you follow their counsel,
Right.
they're going to get you out there. You're going to see success, and success is what really, that getting that income or that revenue coming in because you're getting out there and getting the jobs, or getting the work, or selling your product, that's what's going to help you grow your business. Because if you try to get out there and you're not having the income coming in or doing the things because you're not known, then it's troublesome. You're troublesome. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, to finish this out, Doug, tell everybody here if they're looking for X project, 1, 2, and 3, that's a good time to call you. And how do they get a hold of you? How do they find you?
Well, let's see. How do I do this? Typically, I like to do. I do like to do the bathrooms. I've done some kitchen remodels. I have, like I said, I've finished basements. So if you've got an unfinished basement,
and he does stellar work. We'll vouch for him. He's got those pictures will get up, and the local service ads will get up, and you'll be able to see that and see that social proof.
That's
for sure.
how you'll find me too. Is I'm going to use I'm continuing to use Run Lead Gen Services, and listen to what they say and do what they say, and then I'll be out there and be visible.
So if you're out in the Salt Lake, Tooele County area and you search for for construction services, very specifically remodeling construction services, you should see Dunright Construction pop up. And if not, you can always search Dunright, and we'll make sure you'll find his number that way. Awesome, you guys. We are so glad to have had Doug here today with us. If this is something that's interesting to you, obviously we want you to like and subscribe so you can stay up on all the latest tips and tricks for growing your business and digital marketing. But we'd also encourage you to share out with your other business owning friends, as we are always talking about how to grow businesses. If you'd like to be featured on our podcast, you can reach out to us at info@runleadgen.com, and we can help you get out here as well and showcase your business and talk about what's working and what's not working with you. And obviously we do free consultations and help people with their own Google business profile and organic visibility as well. So this is Quinn and
Brian
with Run Lead Gen, where we help you scale to success.